Music. Should we turn one of these lights off? I feel like I'm in an interrogation chamber. Is that too late to turn that guy off?
We had lights off.
Just that one. Can you do that, or is that illegal?
Oh, yeah. Andrew, you got that?
It's like, I mean, look at this. It's like I'm in a, it's cool with the background, but it looks like I'm in a hut lamp. It's not the end of the world if they can't do it.
Yep,
We'll see if it looks better when they do it. It's like this guy's, you're trying to make me look guilty already by having like a heat lamp in my face. Do I have a pen? So the big question around the office too is whether this will have, the second, my guess will be the biggest live we've ever done. This one versus me versus Vlad. So we'll see. I'm just waiting to see if they can get this light off my face. The background is bananas. And by the way, clear your schedule. Clear your schedule because this is going to be an all-encompassing, like, recap of basically what's happened since Thursday when this hit piece dropped. And Pete's just going up, see what we got. Hopefully get the light off me a little bit. I think it'll look better. That's just a vet move that we don't need to, if we can't do it, we can't do it. There we go. No, turn it back on. Way better, way better, way better, way better. Okay. All right, so here we go. Like I said, I've been basically, if you've been following me on social media, I got some stuff. First of all, if you've been following me at all, and I've said this from the beginning, that if anybody looked at the details of this case, the details of this article, my reaction to it, the facts of it, you would realize that there's nothing there. And then I got something sent to us, thank God, yesterday that to me, if we weren't already there, proved my innocence and that I'm telling the truth beyond a shadow of a doubt. And that's when I got aggressive, tweeting at BI and all this stuff like that. And of course, they're like crying, like, oh, how can you do that? Well, here's the thing. Julie Black, Business Insider, even though they say they never accused me of raping a girl, they describe rape. Like in the article, big ass headlines, like and there's gonna be a lot of exhibits because this is proof. We're gonna put it up all after, but they accuse me of rape, period. They say they didn't. There's no actual allegations, but if you read it, it's like girls running away, Dave won't stop. That's rape. I've said this from the top. If I don't care how many times a girl says yes, yes, yes before, if at any point she's like, no, stop, and you don't stop, that's rape, okay? That's rape. That's what they said I did. I never did that. I gave my reaction off the top. Let's go through the details because everything happened fast. There's a lot more facts now backing up. Business Insider, as of this time, has not corrected, added nothing in that original article. Nothing. Even though there's facts that have come out, they have added nothing. So let's start. 8.5 months ago, all right? 8.5 months ago, somewhere around there, I got an email from Julie Black. Show the email. This is the first one. Show the email she sent me to start this thing off. We'll see how our, the first one. Let's get the first one up.
There's the one that was just added.
We can't get the first one up. This is going to be a 10-hour thing. We have this all. Get the email from Julie Black. Here it is. Okay, so this is how it started. I believe it's somewhere around April, 8 months. I hope you're doing well. I'm a reporter of Business Insider. I'd love the opportunity to interview you for a profile. No particular angle here. I'd love to cover the full gamut from building a media empire to becoming the face of the meme stock movement. Frankly, I think your story in many ways can tell the story of where America finds itself in 2021. Ideal world, I want to meet you in person. Do you plan on being in the Northeast anytime soon? Great if we could work something out that makes sense with your travel plans and COVID safely. Thanks for considering, Dave. Let me know if you have any questions. Hope we talk soon. I declined this. I was like, no, I'm all set. Thanks, though, for the interest. Of course, as I've come to learn, this was covering her tracks. Julia was covering her tracks because to write a hit piece, and they knew what they were writing from the beginning, but if I could prove that you were always out to make me look like a sexual monster deviant, then I can sue you. This, they're like, no, we had good intentions. Yeah, right. So, okay, that's the original email. Articles published, not blindside because we knew, I kept hearing from girls and girls. The first real red flag from Miss Black, Julie Black, put up Exhibit 1, her Twitter profile. You looked at these two things. The first one up top, tweets. This is how many tweets she had before the article came out. 4,151 tweets. This is before we said anything about her or any of the article comes out. Look how many tweets Julia Black has right now. 132. She went from 4,151 to 132 tweets. She deleted her entire Twitter profile. Why? Because she doesn't want us to show there's some sort of preconceived notion. Barstool people are not bad, not great at digging it up. Put up Exhibit 2. All the way back 2017, a guy right here. Don't forget to tag your writers, Chris Spags. Chris Spags worked for us. Looks like he never made it past the 3rd grade, but I'm sure Twitter will happily educate him. It was an article Spags wrote about Rihanna. Now, again, clearly an anti-Barstool bias there, but what I find interesting, what I get accused of so much, they're putting the mob on people. They're putting the mob. If you notice in that tweet, she says, I'm sure Twitter will educate him, trying to basically rally all the people. Next tweet, Exhibit 3, smells like Trump. Put up Exhibit 3, smells like Trump. I'll wait. We may have a little delay with these putting up the graphics every time. What are we doing? No. Put up the Trump. This is all your fault, Austin, by the way, for not having everything organized, and talk lower. Put up Exhibit 3, smells like Trump.
Exhibit 3.
I'll wait. Is it not in order? What's going on?
Trump green should I?
All right, move on. Basically, she's writing anti-Trump articles. I don't know, my idiot crew who showed up at noon here don't have things organized. I'm going to tear his head off if he doesn't get organized quickly. Put up the next one that you have after it then, the tip-off to the reporter, which is, again, 8.5 months going. And don't worry, be with it. So this is a random girl I've never met. Julie Black interviewed her. I condensed it, but this is what she was telling me. And I'm in the blue, obviously. We were going back and forth. The fact she's trying to get you to trash me and we don't know each other kind of says all you need to know. She's been looking for girls for 6 months. The girl, I know I wasn't going to reach out. Once she contacted me a month later, after she already said Dave never did anything, in the previous, like, she's trying to make you sound like a pedo. I was like, what the fuck kind of article are they trying to reach out? Again, clear bias. That's what I'm trying to show here. Julie Black in Business Insider want to make it sound like, oh, we want to write a nice piece and we stumbled across these people and the tenor of the article changed. That's bullshit, so they don't get sued. And all this, the fact she deleted her Twitter profile, the fact she had anti-Trump stuff, which maybe one day we'll get that picture up there, Austin. No, don't do it. We're staying in order. Hopefully get the rest in order. Just proves there was a bias going in. So the article's published. Next thing that happens, basically, is they go right after our advertisers. Exhibit 4, contacting the advertisers. Here we go. So this is Patrick Coffey, Business Insider. This is before we've had a chance to breathe. Keep in mind, 8.5 months they did this article. 8.5 months, they gave us 24-hour notice that they were going to publish it, and then instantly they publish it, and they're sending this to our advertisers, being like, hey, we're going to write a story about who stays with Barstool and who goes, because have you heard these allegations? Oh, by the way, we wrote the allegations. Total bullshit, cancel culture 101. Like, write the article, the hit piece, and then try to scare, even though, as we're going to go through this thing, there's no facts to any of it. Let's get into, so there's basically, the way I see it, there were 2 major accusations, 2 girls, an Allison and a Madison. There's a third that they'll say that there's no context, no proof, no nothing. It just basically says Dave had sex with the girl and was aggressive, basically. Nothing, no date, no anything. You could have said that 100 times. You could watch, which, by the way, I have leaked sex tapes. I was the victim. If you watch one of them in particular, you can say Dave has aggressive sex. It's like, yeah, I mean, everyone's seen it. So it's hard to be like, no, 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 when it's out there. But this is where the case starts getting like, they're just sloppy. Allison's testimony, this is from the article. And I hate reading it. It's weird reading it, but we got to get the point across. This is from the Business Insider article. It's still up there. Allison's sister, Olivia, who had recently graduated college, told Insider that some of her friends were sending Portnoy direct messages attempting to get the mogul's attention, but he wasn't giving them the time of day. Then they realized that her 19-year-old sister, Allison, might be more his type. They said, you should reach out to him. He likes younger girls, and he completely took the bait, Olivia said. He was much more interested in her than any of my 22-year-old friends. Keep that up for a second. First of all, the fact that they even have, and he completely took the bait, there's this message that they're trying to present that I'm preying on girls. Literally in the article, they're saying they tried to bait me. And second of all, you think I knew how old Allison was? Allison asked me to meet at a bar, which you'll see later, but not to be rude, but I'm just gonna be frank. This sister's friends, if I didn't find attractive, and I found the other girl attractive. It had nothing to do with age. And how can this, like anyone with an open mind, he completely took the bait. And by the way, you're a shitty sister using your daughter as, your younger sister to bait somebody to go sleep. Like, what are we talking? I'm the bad guy? Next slide. 5B. Oh, so we're going. All right, yeah, here it is. It's more of the testimony. So pay attention to all of this testimony. This is what Business Insider wrote. It's what they still have. Allison recalled sitting by the pool. Portnoy offered her watermelon and water. Again, it's a well-known fact. I love watermelon. He asked her which school she went to, which grade she was in. Allison recalled. Then she said he got up to go inside. I was like, okay, I'll go inside with you. And he was like, I didn't know it would be that easy. Leaned in, started kissing me. I didn't know what to do at that point. Went upstairs. He was really aggressive. I didn't know what to do. We had sex, and that was it. And he kicked me out. Allison said her memories were fuzzy because of an emotional distress surrounding the incident. But like Madison, the girl later, she said Portnoy choked her. He kept spitting in my mouth. That's a bald-faced lie, which is really gross, Allison said. I was kind of scared. I didn't want to disappoint him. A little over an hour later, Allison's friends picked her up. Again, star this. A little over an hour later, Allison's friends picked her up. One of the young women who was in the car told Insider Allison was uncharacteristically quiet. She was clearly almost in shock. So the story they're telling, the girl had sex with me. It was so violent. She went into basically shock. Couldn't talk afterwards. She couldn't talk the next day, Allison's mother told Insider. Allison does not describe what happened to her as sexual assault, but she says she's deeply disturbed by the experience. I felt very preyed on. Okay, she doesn't describe it as sexual assault. This is a trick that Business Insider has done with this article. They will not accuse me of anything. Because if they accuse me in a criminal sense, there's going to be an investigation, and they're going to be like, you guys are full of shit. So this isn't like journalism. This is an editorial about Dave. We don't like Dave. They never accuse me of anything. They write crimes. Like the way they describe it is a crime, but they won't call it a crime. And then the girl saying, I just felt very preyed on. Again, remember the older sister being like, he fell for the bait. Next slide. Still more of her testimony from the article. Soon after Allison's encounter with Portnoy, two photos, a selfie Allison had taken with Portnoy and a photo a friend took of her leaving the house, began to circulate the island. Both were posted on private Snapchat by her friends, screenshotted, shared. Before long, it felt like the entire island knew what transpired between Allison and Portnoy, Olivia said. Again, mark that part because it's going to come back. It's like, what the fuck? Allison, who suffers depression, felt stressed, overwhelmed from the encounter. It was at my breaking point. When she was in the hospital, the mother began going through her phone, trying to understand what happened, finding Portnoy's messages. Allison's mother called the Nantucket police. She told the police, go put somebody outside his door because you're going to see every day some young girls being dropped off. Insider viewed police documents confirming this call. Her mother wanted to pursue some sort of legal action against Portnoy, but Allison refused. I knew he would drag me through the mud, Allison said. Okay, couple things in this and we'll get to the next. So, all right, well, now that's the version of events that she told, right? Pretty graphic, pretty detailed, exactly what happened. Instant depression. The mother saying she wants, like, warning the police. I don't have 18-year-old girls over I barely have people over my house. So that's what the article said. Continue along, next slide. We may even have to go. Okay, so after I read this, I go in and I know who the girl is, and I go check out my correspondences with her. It directly, and I mean directly, flies in the face. That's her on the left. I'm on island with all my friends, really want to see you. Heart, would do anything. 2 responses, no answer. By the way, Nantucket, people gotta remember, it's an island. So if someone's like, hey, I'm on Nantucket, want to hang out, like, yeah, you can reply, I'm a man. How long are you here for? I think you're, yeah, no, H-E-R-E. Whatever, little spelling mistake, till August 14th. How long you here for? This is my last week. She says, let's hang tonight. I say, I haven't slept in like 4 days. How many friends you with? She said 6. I'm in Cisco looking to have some drinks. Cisco Brewery. Cisco Brewery is a huge bar in Nantucket, 21 plus, like every other bar in the United States. So, and what do I say? Yeah, I'm out tonight. I don't want to go. I didn't invite her over. I didn't do anything. I said I don't want to hang out. That's one, her asking me to hang out. I say no. She says, no, it's your last week. Again, in the article, I preyed on her. Continue along with our DMs. She, again, after I said no, reaches out to me. What you doing today? That's her. I say free during the day. This is what she said. The daughter who was preyed upon. Okay, can we bang? That's what she said to me. Okay, can we bang? I said yes. Again, I did find her attractive. She's move on. I'm a guy. If people are going to indict me for being a guy, indict me. Have I done anything here that's me leading, praying, being weird? If you think yes, then arrest like 75% of the country at this point. Next slide. This is before we've hooked up. Are you excited or nervous? Ha ha. She says nervous both. I say, ha ha, don't be. It'll be fun. If you don't want to do anything, we won't. Let me say that again. And if you don't want to do anything, we won't. She hearted it. So she asked me, do you want to bang? I say, you nervous? She's like, yeah. I'm like, don't worry. You don't want to do anything. We won't. I'm the bad guy. By the way, they said, Business Insider, they had access to her DMs. They posted a couple versions of her story. So did they look at the phone and just willfully ignore this? Continue. This is where it's wild. So this is after we hooked up. This is my exchanges with her after we hooked up. And honestly, thank God I had them. I didn't know I had them, but I did. How did the bragging go? That's because she's like, I can't wait to tell everybody that I hooked up with you. Her answer to how did the bragging go? Amazing. I got the word around. Wink face. August 1st, I leave. I go to the Hamptons. She replied to a story. It must have been me leaving, unprovoked, replied to my story. Bye, Nantucket is better. I love Nantucket. I say agreed. Okay, people are gonna say this next one, miss my dick yet? They're gonna make a t-shirt, do this. I was sexting, all right? Give me a break. These things, by the way, that I get accused of in these stories, in these videos, I'm the fucking victim. I'm not trying to be sad. These are never meant to see the light of day. You think I want my mom, my girlfriend, reading this shit? No, but I have no choice it's the only way to vindicate myself. So I say, miss my dick yet? She says, ha ha, of course. I say, good. This one, I'm in shock that you're still DMing me right now. What's up, Dave Portnoy? That's me being kind of a nice guy. I hooked up with her. I just didn't ghost her. I'm still talking. August 2nd, if you ever want to text me, my number is here. She gives me her number. The Business Insider report, just to clarify, said what? It said that the second she left my house, she went into shock, that she could barely talk, that, the word got around without. She was the one telling everybody. In what way? And this is August 1st, August 2nd. This is 48, 72 hours after we hooked up. She's sending winky faces. She's happy. The story reads, she says, I was preyed upon. I went into shock. It was horrible. The sister baited her to me. She had a great time. This proves it. And now she's one of the witnesses. Did Business Insider look at this? And by the way, I published these multiple times. Business Insider has not updated the story. Do you think this is relevant to the story? Gets a little bit weirder. Next. I hope I remember what's next. Is this the perfect? Yep. So the next slide, and this came out of thin air. Nantucket police spokesman Lieutenant Angus McVicar told NBC News on Friday the department had not received a phone call as described in the Insider article, and he had not spoken to Black. McVicar also added the department was not currently investigating Portnoy because nothing happened. So, but when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, Business Insider's worse than I thought. Now, I know Julia Black sucks at her job. In any evidence that would exonerate me or be in my behalf, she wasn't going to pay any attention to. I thought this was real. Now, what I find maybe the most incriminating thing, when this comes out, I make a big deal about it. I'm like, oh, there's no police report. Julia Black sucks. Well, Magnus McMagnuson, what the hell, Nicholas Carlson, is that the guy, pull up what he does. I think that's next. I may be one ahead. Okay, yeah. So after he responds to me, where I said they didn't even get a police report. This guy, Nicholas Carlson, who has all his comments locked, can't respond to him, responds this. I'd like to share some images with everybody. One is the rest of the NBC News story. The other two are a police report we obtained via FOA by a researcher, not Julia. We gave the case number to NBC News. We're disappointed. You're disappointed they wrote the story that way. You are, Nick? Okay. The police report was not in the article, is still not in the article. You would think if there's a police report that indicates some type of wrongdoing by me and Business Insider is saying they obtained it and had it, it would be in the article. Why wouldn't Business Insider put the police report in the article? Why did the Nantucket police commissioner not even know it existed? Because it reads like it's from the Onion. Show the business. They're so stupid, maybe not, just sinister. They actually think the business report, the police report, like vindicate them. Dude, it makes you guys look like absolute lying savages. Here's the business report. Barstool Sports being with younger girls in Nantucket. Upon speaking redacted, this is the mother. She said that she wanted to stay anonymous. And by the way, when you're on this, Austin, can you find the date of this police report? Because my DMs with her were around August 2nd. So let's see if we can find the exact date of the police report. Upon speaking, she stated that she'd like to stay anonymous. All she gave me was the name stated that she would like to make a police report aware of Dave Portnoy bad behavior. Dave Portnoy, imagine going up to a police officer and be like, heads up, Dave Portnoy bad behavior. Stated that she heard that Dave Portnoy only hangs out. It's not funny, but it's so ridiculous. That Dave Portnoy only hangs out with 18-year-old girls when he is in Nantucket. She stated that David Portnoy is 43 years old and he shouldn't be dating 18-year-olds. Stated that she wants to give us a heads up. She stated that she heard Dave Portnoy always ask girls to come to his pool to hang out with him. She stated that David always asks if the girls are at least 18 years old and willing to have sexual intercourse with them. She stated that workers from fish and this line. She stated that workers from the fish and meat market told her that David Portnoy came in there with a different girl every time he goes. First of all, I don't run around being, are you 18? Can we fuck? Are you 18? That is totally false. But even if it was true, it's saying I'm trying to follow the law. Like, it actually is saying he doesn't break any laws. So I don't even know what that has to do with anything. As far as the fish and meat market goes, you're not getting a good cookie review anymore if your workers are saying that. I gave the fish and meat market a great review, and I rarely, if ever, went in there with a girl. Like, I go in there, grab a cookie, and leave. Honestly, just if I'm running around, 18-year-old girls aren't like munching up cookies. I just don't do it. It's like they got a good cookie, but I'm going to trash that cookie. And I bet they don't even know this was said. What?
August 10th is police report.
This police report was filed August 10th. I stopped talking to the girl August 2nd. Didn't they say 3 or 4 days or like after we hooked up, she went into this depression? There's a 10-day gap of nothing. Nothing was said, nothing was filed. She left on great terms. 10 days passed. What are we talking about? Her timing in time frame doesn't even add up in the story. Continue with this ridiculous report. She stated that her 19-year-old daughter went to Dave Portnoy's house not too long ago. Can we put it in parentheses? She stated that her older daughter pimped out her younger daughter to go to Dave Portnoy's house not too long ago. And something happened, and now she's in the hospital. This is 10 days later. This police report, 10 days later. She stated that the daughter stated, again, she stated that the daughter stated she has no memory of going to David Portnoy's house. How do you have all these details when there is a police report that says she doesn't remember anything? How can you print what you printed when you were in possession of a police report that is directly conflicting and basically contradicting what you're reporting? And the Business Insider people reached up and said, we had this police report. The police report is still not in the article. It is still not in the article. So all she would say is she wanted to give us a heads up on Dave Portnoy's behaviors because she doesn't want this to happen to other young girls on the island. She stated that you should keep an eye on Dave Portnoy who was on the island because he shouldn't be dating 18-year-olds. The police officer I told the woman we haven't gotten any complaints from 18-year-old girls about Dave Portnoy. I've been in Nantucket for close to 15 years. Zero complaints. Police officers, zero complaints. However, I told her, I talked to my sergeant about what she told me. They passed it along. They notified somebody. And that's the police report. So what you have a girl who says she has no memory of coming to my house. You have an article that gives graphic details. You have a mother with hearsay. You have a timeline that doesn't even add up. I have literal DMs saying we got along and she had a great time. They haven't put 1 ounce of this evidence in the article. None. So anybody with a rational, fair take, if you are believing that side of the story over my side of the story, you just hate my guts, and at no point ever will you believe anything I say. There can't be more concrete evidence about the he said, she said. My hypotheses, which I'm pretty confident in, this girl who was dying to hook up with me, and that's how I remember it, she aggressively pursued me. Her mother found out, and rather than deal with the mother, she just lied. She just lied and let me take all the shrapnel. Okay, fine, whatever. How else can you explain it? Now, when I did this originally, I knew I had the DMs from her. And again, I will go to my grave. Anybody who sides with her version of events, which make absolutely no sense and is contradicted by virtually every piece of evidence, I'll never prove I could tell you that it's going to get dark tonight, and you're like, no, he's lying. Like, that is how black and white that is. The second girl, I also knew who it was, but I was like, this is a he said, she said. Like, I am never, ever going to be able to prove that my version of events is what happened. Her version of events, put up the headline for the whole article. That was the headline of the article, by the way, across the internet. Like, no context. I was literally screaming and paying. Young women say they met Barstool Sports founder for sex and it turned violent and humiliating. It's a total lie. I said in the article, it was a lie from the beginning, but it's like, if no one else is in the bedroom except me and her, it's a he said, she said, and people still don't believe me about that first example, so how the hell am I going to prove myself with this? I was stunned to hear it was the girl, so that was the headline. Let's move to the next girl. They call her Madison. I want to clear something up right off the gun. There's an article that came out. I want to clear it up. Put it up. Put up Exhibit 11. Okay. Explain why Madison Beer is being dragged into the Dave Portnoy story. Ever since the bombshell interview blew up, people on social media have come up with theories suggesting the woman in the story could, in fact, be Madison, the singer. I did not have sex with Madison Beer. I want to make that unequivocally clear. All right? She's clear. She has nothing to do with this story. Let's move on from that. In Exhibit 12, before we get into this, I want to replay. And now put yourself in my shoes here. You get hit, blindsided, sort of. You didn't know what was going to be in the article, with this slander piece that was 8.5 months in the making. A girl that is like, what the fuck is she talking about? And you're basically accused of rape for the world. And I know, I'm not an idiot. The people who don't like me are going to be like, he raped. I am lucky that the people who know me and have worked with me and talked with me over the last 2 decades believe what I say. My lawyers, as I said, they're like, you got to just shut up. Like, you've been accused of serious shit. Just shut up. Don't even say you know the girls. I went the opposite way, made 11-minute rant, stream of conscious, and I want you to rewatch what I said happened with Madison. And this is before I knew any evidence would come out, anything would be sent to me. This is my reaction when I'm just telling you the God's honest truth of how her and our weekend went. So we're going back in time, play the video, and this is me describing Madison and I's encounter. I can say this unequivocally. At no point, she came, she flew, we did have pizza, hung out, hooked up, at no point during it. At no point.
At no point. At no point.
Was it not 100% consensual? At no point did she ask me to stop. At no point did either of us think something unseemly happened. There was no weirdness after. It was totally fine, normal interaction. Sexual, 100% consensual. My lawyer's like, don't make these blanket statements. I'm telling you now, her version of events is not true on our hookup. Just not true. Neither of us were like, oh, you shouldn't be doing it. It was 100,000,000% consensual. What's going on in her brain? I have no idea. Her actions, outward, all 100% normal. Wasn't alarmed, never thought about it. Now, after we hooked up, we were hanging out more, and it just became one of those situations where we disagreed basically on everything from, is it raining or sunny out? It was just oil and vinegar. Two people who did not get along, did not see the world the same way, and that is why she slept on the couch. I do believe, my recollection is she was still interested in hooking up, and I'm like, this just isn't working. Like, we don't get along. Flew back. I never talked to her again. I never knew she had any issue. It's the first I heard of it, and frankly, was stunned to read and hear about it. I am obviously not going to say her name. I don't want her harassed. If what she's telling that she didn't enjoy the experience is true, I had no idea, and that's horrible, and I never want to feel that way. But if there was a hidden camera in that room, and it wasn't a he said, she said, and someone saw the interaction, there would be absolutely nothing there. I promise you I've never lied. My lawyers have been like, don't even acknowledge that you know who this person is. Just anonymous is better because people can just throw it away. I don't do that. I know who the person is. And I'm telling you, that's how it went down. The reason I knew who it was not because of the description of the event, because it doesn't ring true at all. It's because she slept on the couch because we had a disagreement on life. Nothing to do with sex. Okay. So again, that was a couple hours after the article dropped and after I got to digest it. No script, off the top, telling you what happened. Knowing, probably, I'll never have the tangible proof that I had with the other girl that I just mentioned, because as I say in the rant, we didn't get along. We just did not get along. I tried to keep it vague because I know how people come at me, but it was just like a lot of political shit, and it's like she was extreme. I don't like either extreme, but it was oil and vinegar. That's all I can say. And that's what I said in the video. And that's why I don't have anything after the fact, because we did not get along after the first night. But this story of me chasing her around and she being like, stop, I'm crying in pain, did not happen. I'm not even going into the part of the article in Business Insider where they say the girl had a rape fantasy. It wasn't anything like that. It was nothing. I know everybody has seen that one video with me in the past, like, oh, he's crazy. Dude, there was none of that. That was something that girl really wanted to do, and we talked about it, we knew about it. She actually after was like, yeah, it was fun. That did not happen. People are holding this thing, which I was the victim, and to be honest, is probably what allowed Business Insider to go down this path, because you have something, even though you're not gonna say it, out there. It's like, we're gonna find more people to do whatever. And like the first girl, her agenda is clear. Mother mad, mother embarrassed. But what this girl agenda, I really didn't know. Now, once it happened, I start paying attention because, again, they never said I raped her. They never said it wasn't consensual. Her story reads like rape. Like, it's almost reverse. Like, I'm reading, it's like, you're saying I raped her, but then you're saying I not raped her. If she said stop, and she's like, this is too much, you're hurting me, you stop. That's rape if you don't stop. So they describe rape, but they don't say rape, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I start paying attention, and now a key part in Business Insider, and they have so many lies. They say the girls don't want to be identified because they're afraid, like, we'll stalk them and do shit and all this. Guess what? You know who hasn't identified them? Me. Both my lawyers are like, you gotta sue the fuck out. You have evidence in your hand. Definitely the first girl, the mother who blatantly lied to the police, and probably, after you see what I have here, of this girl. I don't want to. I don't want to identify the girl because I don't know what that will do to them. And frankly, this girl has a mental health channel. She's talked about health issues, which is post way after me, but Business Insider knew about and fucking ignored because they're scumbags. But I started following her. She identified herself. This girl, who supposedly wanted to remain anonymous, did a duet with me on TikTok, like my speech, with her face next to it. I'm not gonna put it up because I don't want you to see her face. Hundreds of thousands of views. And then she was commenting below it. Put up Exhibit 13. So this is just a random commenter. Dave's not a rapist, that's crazy. When you got money, you gotta be careful. This is the girl who's accusing me. Nobody said he was a rapist. She said that, her words. Put up the next one. She met, again, a random comment. She messaged him, said she wanted to explore her rape fantasy. That's a fact. She came over, they did. We did not explore rape fantasy. We did not. She is of age. She never said no. Sounds consensual to me. The creator, her. The article never said the sex wasn't consensual. I am getting crucified and dragged through the coals on a girl who is openly in the public being like, I never said it wasn't consensual and it wasn't rape. Again, they keep stopping short because they know that's an investigation. And if something happened, police or whatever, she's saying that. She doesn't even know I'm looking at this, by the way. So it's not like she's being provoked. This is she's doing on her own, answering it. We dig a little more, like where did this animosity come from? Exhibit 14. July 20th. So that is when she left. Dave Portnoy equals little bitch. Again, doesn't sound like, I told you, we didn't get along. That's what you write when you don't get along with somebody. You do not write that, I don't think. I don't know when you've been assaulted. Like little bitch is like he's an asshole. Exhibit 15, please. This is all dug up after the fact. That net worth, thanks to this fucking hit piece, is probably like half that shit now. Below it, so that's my celeb net worth. Thanks for the update. That's her. I don't know how she didn't delete that. Venmo at me. How much money I'm worth? Venmo. Okay, interesting. Now, this could, you keep in mind why, I'm going to show you why we're doing these. Exhibit 16. We dug a little bit into her past. And remember when I said we had life differences and I didn't get into it in the original video? And people like, I've seen some people like, obviously you fucking don't get along with like a 20-year-old. You're totally different age. You want to crucify me? I've hung out with a lot of 20-year-olds, all right? I have. And I've never had one sleep on the couch because I didn't get along on philosophical issues. And I'm not a huge, people think I'm like some crazy Trump guy. I am not. I don't like either extreme. This girl was extreme, 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 extreme left. Here are some of her tweets. Donald Trump is the biggest idiot out there. Continue. We still hate you. That's to Donald Trump. Next one. I'm surprised nobody has killed Donald Trump yet. Next one. 2020, better vote. You're not letting Donald Trump thing happen again. Nope. Next one. I'm embarrassed I was a girl and supported Trump. Next one. Donald Trump, real life monster. Next one. Fuck Donald Trump with a knife and a smiley face. I don't fucking care. A lot of people hate Trump and go bananas on social media. Like that isn't a conviction at all because again, half the people would be in jail. But where this got interesting, and so I was not going to say anything more about this girl. Because it's a he said, she said. There's nothing I have that can prove it. I wasn't going to get into the politics of it. I didn't want to bring it in, but that is why we did not agree. And it was a vicious conversation, and we did not like each other after that. And she still was willing to hook up after that. I remember being on my stairs, being like, you know, some people just don't get along. That's us. All right? So she was there. Now, this is last night, and some people are going to be like, Dave, you overblew this. In light of everything I'm saying, I think this was the final thing, like, okay, a relief. Like when I got sent this video, I sent it to my parents, I sent it to Silvana, Renee, Erica. I'm like, fucking A, we got it. We got it. And that's when I started getting like little ippity on social media. So let me give the background on this. When she was at my house in Nantucket, she has a Finsta, fake Instagram. That's when you don't want everyone to see your real shit. I had no idea that she had it, okay? There's a dude, Stooley, thank God to that guy, who she was posting in real time about being at my house, unbeknownst to me. This kid screen recorded it in real time. They're long gone. She's not that dumb with covering her tracks. But he screen recorded it. And when he heard my story, and I think I said the girl is from Detroit at some point, and he's like, wait a minute, is this the girl that like I screened? Because he knew who I was and he knew we hung out. So he sent this along and we blurred out her face, all right? So because we don't want to identify her. We don't want people to know who she is. So this was sent, we'll play the full video. You can see it and scroll so you know it's not edited. And we'll go through each part. I would say it reads like a 3-part play. If you go back to what I said, she came, we were happy, we hooked up. We get in a fight about politics and fucking shit like that, which is, I'm not even that political. That's how insane that convo had to be. She gets mad at me, and then we'll see the coup de grace, in my mind. All right, so play the video together. Here it is. So there's me beating Dave in Scrabble. Silvana, I'm sorry, I'll play Scrabble with you. Here we blur, this is a picture of her face, clear as day. Portnoy was so the first one's pre-sex, that one was in the middle. This is the third, not my proud as fuck. Just as happenstance, my interview with Donald Trump was like 3 days later. I think we have a pretty clear agenda that has developed. Let's pull up each slide because we're going to read what's in there. Pull up the first. So here it is. This is before we've hooked up. She comes, we're hanging out, playing Scrabble, lovely day. Me beating Dave Portnoy in Scrabble. Everybody's happy, happy-go-lucky. Next slide. This is after we've hooked up. This is her face again in this video. Portnoy was a dick and lame and grumpy. I think grumpy is the exact line they use in the Business Insider, how she described me. He gets a 2 of 10 from me. If he ever, listen to this, if he ever truly pisses me off, I have lots of content to expose him with. I'm going to stick with athletes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $7 flying emojis. She unleashed everything she had on me, okay? So I guess it's sexed but the story is made up. There is 0.0.0 truth to it. And even here, like, this is after we had sex. Is there any talk about assault? Any of the things she's saying running around? She described me as lame and grumpy. Lame and grumpy. And again, people who don't like me be like, what does that prove? If somebody just fucking basically raped you, is that how you describe them? As lame and grumpy? And then obviously 3 days later, I happen to interview Trump. If Biden asks me, I'll fucking go tomorrow. All right, put the next one up. So here's the picture. Again, okay, not my proudest fuck. Again, if what she is saying transpired, like, do you publicly ask, it wasn't my proudest fuck? That's because you fucking hate Trump. Somewhere along the way, it's like, oh, she started viewing me as this. I have no idea how she got connected to the Business Insider people, but I just want to stress this. And I've showed it to various people, this video, and some people are like, it absolutely exonerates you. Other people are like, yeah, I don't know that does. I guess when you look at the full circle of this, I told you what happened in that video before I knew this existed. It lines up perfectly, and I mean perfectly, with my version of events. Go full circle, take the first girl that we disproved. I told you I was telling the truth. I was right about her, and I'm right about her. Like, are you going to believe this person, who, by the way, has gone viral for like wildly sexual videos, saying over-the-top stuff after the fact, which Business Insider did not put in, ignored? Like, who are you going to believe at this point? Who are you? Honestly, I told you I was telling the truth, and now I have facts. Slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, back up my story before I even knew it existed. You know what's being overlooked? The next thing, I believe, which I'm just going through my notes. This girl, Ava Louise, don't put it up yet. So again, I'm sorry if it's running long. Are people like, oh, this is boring, I'd rather be watching something? Hopefully not, because no offense, I got accused of rape. That's my fucking life. Like, that's as horrific a crime as you can be convicted of, all right, and accused of. I got accused of it with, so far, in 8.5 months, 2 sources that I was able to disprove in 3 days. They did not put in one positive girls interaction. I have like 50 of them. Like, and they've all offered, be like, do you want me to go on the record? I'm like, I don't think we're there yet. Like, and what's just a random, but she talked to everybody. I have people being like, we talked to her, we told her to go fuck herself. Like, nothing. Only 2 negative, both disproved. Now, this is what, if you have a brain, this girl, Ava Louise, who is a 3rd girl mentioned. So there's actually only 1 girl on the record in this thing, and it's Ava Louise. Ava Louise, I talked to in 2017. We did not talk about her age at all. She said she was in college. I believe it was like 2 texts or 3. It's like, hey, meet me out in New York City at a bar. She's like, for sure, I will, and never talked to her again. That's 2017, so that's 4 years ago, all right? She is quoted as a source in this article, a girl I haven't talked to in 4 years. It's the only woman And they talk to everybody in my life. Everybody. There's one woman who is quoted. Ava Louise. Please play who Ava Louise is.
So you lied to people.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what the media is doing, I think, with this entire virus. Obviously, it was a social experiment more than anything else. Like, obviously, I wanted the clout off of it. And I was like really annoyed that Corona was getting more publicity than me, because I currently have like a song going viral right now and no one was covering it. So I decided to hop on the Corona wave. But yeah, I just did lie to people. Yeah, I did. And it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. Like, it's funny because I created the fake news myself.
This is the only girl who's quoted in the article? Like, am I taking crazy pills? That is the one girl who put a name. And by the way, I'm not mentioning the other two. I don't want to go after the other two. Whatever. I kind of feel, again, I understand. I think both where they're coming from. One, the mother, the other political and fucking hates Trump and kind of viewed me as Trump. The Business Insider, who should pay. And we didn't put up a slide, by the way. It's gotten to this point. I forgot it, and I don't even know that we can find it. People who have been following me should know this. But after the police report came out, and after I provided all the DMs, I asked Business Insider, all of them. Julia Black, the editor, Nicholas Carlson, Henry Blodgett, the CEO. I'm not even getting into Blodgett on this particular one, but if you don't know, well, I'll tell you at the end. But I asked them all nicely, fairly. I said, I will come to you to do an interview as long, here it is. Here's the text exchange. We'd like to formally invite you to join the Dave Portnoy Show on Tuesday to talk about the article that's published in Business Insider about Dave. We'll make it as fair as possible. You can bring as many people as you like. You can also video record the whole conversation and repost for your own purposes. I would have liked to ask them, you had possession of the police report, you didn't put it in. You've seen the DMs, your story directly contradicts it. Like, how do you explain that? This is what they replied. Thanks for the invitation. On behalf of Patrick, myself, anyone else invited, we'll decline. We're going to let the story speak for itself. What does that even mean? You haven't put in any of the other facts. You wrote a hit piece and won't put in the stuff that directly contradicts your own reporting. Send your future invites to our VP of Comms, Mario Ruiz. This is the global editor-in-chief. This is the global editor-in-chief. And you know what's sad? Well, and I don't know what to do. Like, here's the thing. There's a reason Barstool is Barstool, and there's a reason I'm me. You don't have to really love me, but I've said the same thing for basically 2 decades now. I will tell the truth. And that's why I generally come out on top in these things when the lawyers are like, no, don't go crazy. It's like, I have nothing to hide. Now, could someone else, like these 2 girls, make up lies and come forward? Yeah, I can't stop that. It's a he said, she said. But I think I'll be able to prove my innocence because I have never done anything inappropriate with any girl in life. And I have every girl I've basically been with who is like, this is fucked up. And if we need you to go to bat, like, we will. Don't prey on younger girls. That girl, the younger one, fucking preyed on me. And to be honest, I don't want to get too much into it, but it's legal in this country. And like, if you think 30, young 40, like mid 20s, like that, I'm in Miami. That's the club every fucking night. There's nothing non-consensual. What I found hilarious. And again, I already know the people who hate me, and we'll get into this. Let's start, though, with the, not to go off track. Exhibit 25, this was yesterday. What was this, 20 minutes after we got the video? Nicholas Carlson, again, the guy who refused to talk. I'm proud to announce that we've hired Julia Black as a correspondent for The Insider. She previously worked with us as a freelancer. She is persistent, fair, talented writer, and a delight to work with. That was yesterday at 5 o'clock. What in the world has been fair about what they did? And I don't mean this exaggerating. They belong in prison. They have evidence that they have withheld to make me look like a rapist without calling me a rapist. And guess what? It's going to stick with the people who don't fucking like me. And let's go, you know what? I want to start, let's go with 27. We'll go back to 26. Kat Timbridge. Newsflash, consensual sex can very quickly become non-consensual sex assault when a partner uses violence into the equation. It's totally disturbing, disgusting. Portnoy's fan base is rationalizing the act of surprise choking. There's no fucking surprise choking. This jail, it did not happen. Where is the girl? You saw the DMs of the other girl. The other girl cleared his agenda, said she had a rape fantasy. Like, I've been with a million girls, none have I choke girl? Yeah, you've seen it. If a girl's like, stop, I fucking stop. This is Pylon. She works for Business Insider. And people retweet this, retweet this, retweet this. I have said this 1,000 times. If it's consensual, I don't care if a girl says yes 1,000 times. If she says no once, it's rape, period. 28, exhibit 28. This is today. Julia, come out to play. Julia, Henry, come out to play. Henry's the CEO. This Susie Bankram. This is just absolute psycho shit. She's talking about me. Still fully harassing a woman for daring to report on him and signaling to his troll army to go after her. She accused me of rape with no evidence. 2 reports that any reporter, if they dug into these stories, would have realized were not credible. Whether you thought it was real, not, to go try to ruin somebody's life with the amount of evidence they had, to resort to Ava Louise. And by the way, Susie Bankram, we reached out to them nicely to come interact with us. They won't talk about the article. They just they have accused me of something. I've said this a couple times. I didn't 0.0001 be in the wrong. I was 0.0000 in the wrong. Also, pull that up one more time, that tweet. So yeah, right here. There's just psycho shit harassing a woman for daring to report on him and signaling to his troll army to go after her. The way I read this tweet, Julia, female, come out, and I said, Julia, come out to play. Henry below, that's a male, come out to play. 1 female, 1 male. Who's tagged in this? The male. So how am I, I don't care if you're male or female. If you accuse me of rape, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna prove my innocence. And you don't get to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You fucking did a dog shit report and you're getting congratulated by the psycho boss of yours. Like, what world are we taking? You can't have it both ways. If you're gonna put your name and be a female reporter, be fair. I won't fucking attack you. This place here, we have more women executives than any other person, company, in media. Like, I treat people the same. If that is an example of me somehow having an agenda against females, when there's a female and a male, and I tag the male and not the female, how do you win with that? The girl said I was a rapist. What don't people get about that? This one, her. This is, and I don't know her, but I've watched enough where I feel like she's kind of fair and open-minded. This is Mina Kimes, ESPN. This is right when the article comes out. So they say Black spoke with 3 women who had sex with Dave. By the way, 2. We're not actually believing the third, are we? With absolutely no evidence, no facts, no context. I did not film without advance permission. Totally lied. Total lie. Fine, she says that. Now this is where it gets sticky. Mina Kimes, again, she seems rational, and I feel like anybody who's rational would have my side on this. This isn't about like Me Too, women's. This is about fair. This is about fair. I've never done anything remotely similar to this. People always want to pin me as a guy I'm not. That's why I keep shaking this. But this is what Mina said. This is really upsetting, well-reported story. And judging by the replies, there are way too many people who don't understand the concept of consent. She's retweeting the thing. In what universe is this a well-reported story? Honestly, in what universe? They didn't accuse me of anything. It's all anonymous sources. There's nothing that makes sense. To dig in, and she has, look, 633 retweets without giving the story a second to breathe. It sucks because people are gonna see this and gonna be, Dave's a rapist. Have they talked to anybody who I know or that will put their name in any proof? Nothing. There's nothing there. I've just disproved. 8.5 months, you talked. I've been single until recently, shout out Silvana, until recently for like 5 years. Single, famous, Miami, around. We used to do a blackout tour with college co-eds. I've never been accused once, never. And you talk to every single person I've ever met, and you have 2 stories that are disproved in 3 days in Ava Louise. How is that enough to go to print and try to ruin somebody's life and somebody's company? Honestly. I think I got one more video, but before we go to that, I know what everyone's asking, like, can I sue these people? The legal part of what's going on. And trust me, I want a pound of flesh. And anybody who thinks I'm just gonna go away after this, in Business Insider, by the way, I talk to lawyers. When I talk to them, I'm like, oh, they're going to have to retract it. They're going to have to take it down, right? Like, I have all this fucking proof. Like, nobody in the history of media has taken down an article. You want to know how stupid it is? You want to hear how dumb it is? They can argue, they can keep it up because it is now news. Yeah, they wrote it first. They made news. They made shit up about it, and they put it behind a paywall. Yes, they did mention contacting advertisers. They put it behind a paywall and monetized it. They were monetizing it as recently I saw as 2 days ago in a newsletter with big headlines, big splashy days of rapists, basically. So yeah, I want to sue them. I want their asses. But my lawyers are like, it's almost impossible in the United States. Not only that, because it's not set up for me. It's not set up for a scumbag like Julia Black or Henry Blodgett, convicted SEC fraud, or Nicholas Carlson, who's doing this hit piece and need people to pay. It's not set up. It's actually set up for people who really need it. So a big media company can't like threaten somebody not to write an article, and then they can sue them. So what this anti-SLAPP thing, I have to be able to prove there was malice. And by that, I have to be able to prove they knew they were writing this story before it even started, which is 100% factual. I don't have that proof. That's why Julia Black sent me that email to be like, hey, we want to write this story all positive. Yeah, right, and it turns to that. That's why they called my idiot friend Elio to be like, Elio said he's a good friend, and they throw that one line in so they can have this appearance. No, we were just trying to get a good article. I don't know where the bodies are buried. I guarantee you somewhere, dark room, whatever, they're like, we're going to write this hit piece, maybe because of my sex tapes. They just hate me. The same group of people have hated me for the 20 years. So this was their excuse to come at me. They found nothing, and they still fucking wrote it. In addition, for the lawyer, and I'm still debating doing it just to drag them through it, if I sue them, I'm locked in immediately. Like, you're locked in. If I lose, which I've talked to every lawyer in the book, they're like, you cannot win. A famous person cannot win this case. They can't. It's like virtually impossible. I still may do it just to see them eye to eye and be in that courtroom, and this is way more important than money. But having said that, if I lose, I pay their legal fees. So what Business Insider does, they know that. Why do you think they did this? Because they'll go hire the most expensive, most powerful lawyers in the world, and then they'll be like, if you lose this, you're gonna have to pay like millions on this drag. So that is why it's preventative. If they think I'm done because of that, they don't know the first thing about me, just like they didn't know the first thing about me when they thought I'd just roll over, or they thought I was the scumbag that they thought for 20 years, and they found nothing and they couldn't get off of it. Last clip, and this is a totally different thing. I've talked about the insider trading, all that. That is still on the table. Nobody's gonna tell me this piece dropped on earnings day for Penn. People knew when it was going to drop. The stock was shorted the day before the fucking article came out. And the scumbag CEO, Henry Blodgett, who I've talked a lot about, he is literally banned from the SEC for insider trading. You think that's all just one giant coincidence? Henry Blodgett probably has no problem with it. He used these patsies as an example to drop a hit piece and make some money, I guess. I want to leave you with it. This is the guy, the CEO of Business Insider. By the way, not one person from Business Insider has had the guts, the balls, whatever you want to call it, to speak with me. You want to know why I keep increasing the pressure? Why is Dave attacking? Because they won't talk. They accused me of rape and then ran away. Play this last clip.
Henry Blodgett is excited to be on the Today Show, and clearly Henry Blodgett thought Matt Lauer wouldn't Google him before this interview.
Tom, thank you very much. Henry Blodgett is editor of Business Insider and a former Wall Street analyst who was permanently banned from the securities industry after settling fraud allegations with the SEC.
Yay, yay, I'm on TV. He's describing me. Oh, no, I should have only agreed to go in the 4th hour. Kathy Lee and Hoda are not fact checkers. I look like the cricket from A Bug's Life. Discovery's...
That's my new arch enemy. That's my new arch enemy. If this is a baseball game, we're in the top of the second. We're in the top of the second. Like, this is just the beginning. I know I keep saying it, but people sometimes say, why do you get mad? I got accused of rape. It's arguably the most horrific thing you can be accused of with 0.0 evidence, and they fucking knew it. Music.